Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So this is talking about, it's actually in a sutra called Sikalaka Sutra. Sikalaka was the son of a very well-off man in Rajaka, but the father died, and before the father died, he told the boy, Sikalaka, that you have to pay respect. Huh? So this son did not want, out of respect, right? Every day, out of respect for his father's words, which he revere, honor, and hold sacred about the words of his father. So every day he got up early in the morning, all wet, and pay respect to the 6 directions. So one day the Buddha went out and saw him and asked him these questions. So he got up every day. So the Buddha said, why did you do this? He said, because this is the last words of my father. My father told me to do this. And I respect him, I honor him, I revere his words. So I do it every day. The Buddha said, this is not the right way. This is not the right way to actually to pay homage to the 6 directions. And that's why this whole few paragraphs is talking about the right way of paying respect or paying homage to the 6 directions according to the Buddha's teachings. And he said these 6 things are to be regarded as the 6 directions, not paying paying respect to the north, to the east, to the west. But he said, okay, the east represents our mother and father. Okay, the east represents mother and father. And the south represents teachers. The west represents wife and children. Come on, come back. And the north represents friends and companions. The nadir represents servants, workers, and helpers. And the zenith represents the Brahmins and the ascetics. So, come on. Come on, come back. Did you do something there? Okay. That's okay. Doesn't matter. If it goes off, it goes off. Be mindful. So, let us look at what the Buddha said about the 5 ways to minister each direction. So he said in the eastern direction, that is the sons to the parents, right? Or or not just sons, but Indian people have a way to like boys, huh? So it's actually, you could say, actually children. Okay? That's so strange. It seems like the power is off somehow. Okay, maybe I hold it. Okay. He said when the children to the parents, what should they do? Support them. Support who? Support the parents. Come on, I give you some energy. And perform their duties for them. Let us keep up the family tradition. Worthy of my heritage. Okay, we look at all these and then we'll talk about that. After the parents' death, distribute gifts on their behalf. What do you think about these 5? Support them, perform the duties for them, keep up the family tradition, worthy of my heritage. After the parents' death, distribute gifts on their behalf. Is this the tradition here? No. Really? None of those? Hardly, eh?
Sometimes number 3.
Keep up the family tradition, yeah. Yeah. In what way?
The celebrations.
Celebrations, okay.
Christmas.
Ah, those festive things. So, very interesting.
I took care of the house and stuff for them. Did all their mowing, the gardening,
That is a kind of performing the duties for them
That's what I
when you are around. Okay. And support them in a way. It could be financially, it could be when they are ill, it could be when they are in need. So keep up the family tradition, worthy of my heritage. What does it mean by that?
don't give the family a bad name.
That's, yeah. And after the parents' death, distribute gifts on their behalf. Do you do that?
No, the only gifts that, if there was something in the will, then that would be distributed as according to their wishes.
But this is not really your performance; it's their performance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not done here. It's done in First Nations, but it's not done.
So interesting, eh?
Yeah.
You know, in the Chinese tradition, this is actually most of them are being held. I think in the Indian tradition, it's very different in the Eastern culture and the Western culture. And perform their duties, especially all 5 of them. And the last one, after the parents' death, distribute gifts on their behalf. This is actually a very, very a strong tradition in the Buddhist tradition. You know, as soon as anybody is in the family die, we just give alms, donate, and in their name or dedicate their wishes. So that is actually a very strong. Yes?
The closest that we come to that is if parents have died of a particular disease. Like
You give a
cancer,
little donation to the charity.
That's
Yeah.
in their name.
In their
That's
name.
the closest we get.
Yeah.
With the last part on distributing gifts on their behalf, when you're talking in the Buddhist way or traditional way of this, is it being like, are you saying that dispersed within the community, or is there like
Anywhere.
Oh,
Anywhere.
so it's not really specific to what a need is or a
No.
niche to anything?
No. But of course, if you are practicing the teachings, then of course you give it to a temple, to a monastery, and because you haven't heard the 42 chapters, but if you have heard the 42 chapters, you remember in the 42 chapters is that you give dana to 500 householder. Why don't you give dana to one person who is a stream enterer, and so on and so forth? Remember the 42 chapters? There was one chapter talking about that. So it's a different, of course, different. It's about merits, right? It's about the level of merits. So it's different. Of course, if you are giving dana to a Buddha, it's way meritorious than giving a dana to a householder, right? Because the Buddha was an enlightened being, and so it's kind of different. So this is the 5 ways we can actually we should support. We should come on.
Here's a question.
Yes.
There's a recommended occurrences of when one should do that? Like, is there
Right after.
specific dates?
Right after.
Or throughout the year, or as you
Right
feel?
after they die,
Right.
especially the best is within the 45 days, 49 days, the first 49 days.
But after that as well?
Of course, after that, any time,
Anytime.
but if it is like just a recent death, then try to do it as soon as possible. Yeah, yeah.
In Sri Lanka, we give first after 1 week, and then 3 months, and then every year.
Yeah, oh yeah. People can just give like every year as a remembrance. Yeah, yeah. And Sri Lanka, of course, is a Buddhist place too, right? So, yeah. And so after parents' death, we gather their things, wash them off, clean, and give them right away. And also, yeah, right away.
It seems so crazy converse to like the opposite of our culture.
Oh, you gather, right? You take them home and no, give right away, so that they get all the merits. They get more merits. So you don't gather their things.
I don't actually think there's such a thing as Western culture, because we're so multicultural, and people bring, traditions from their own family that are only practiced in their family. So I think it's like more the intent of respect and respecting your parents and honoring your parents. However you do it in your culture may be different.
Yeah.
I also think that our families are so scattered over the country, like we don't live in small.
So is our family.
Yeah, but I just think like supporting them, like I would love to
Oh.
support my mother, but I mean she lives on the island, so that's my brother's job to do, cut her lawn and do.
Well, that's also support them,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's things that
Yeah.
I cannot do for her because I can't get her to move here.
Yeah. Okay, good. So next one is still the Eastern direction, but reciprocate. Reciprocal. That means the parents to the children. What should the parent help to the children? Restrain him from evil, support him in doing good, teach him some skill. So this is the whole like educating how to bring children up, right? Why? Find him a suitable wife. This, I don't know. And this last one is hand over his inheritance. I don't know about this either. I don't agree with this. Hand over his inheritance. I don't agree. But in many cultures, in many countries, that is actually a very, very strong practice, right? I think if the children are capable, they don't really need your inheritance. If the children are incapable, even though you give them all the inheritance, they still wouldn't live a good life. So I think all the parents should really look after themselves, and just divide the inheritance, not just everything to the children. Spread it out. Give it to charity. Give it to the needy, and then just divide into a few parts. Something wrong with I think something wrong with the power. It seems that the power doesn't go through. Shh. Okay.
With the last one on hand over the inheritance, is that like the husband and the wife, or whatever situation?
The parents to the children. The children, yeah, parents to the children, not husband and wife yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
But is this like that the inheritance kind of, you're saying, can go some to the children, but as needed?
Split it into, yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah, which makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, if the children have their own life and they are diligent and they can make ends meet, and they don't really need your inheritance.
Well, it goes back
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that is actually the whole idea of how to raise a child, isn't it? Is restrain him from evil. When they don't know about evil, bad and good, you actually stop them from doing unwholesome thing, and support him in doing good, encourage them then to do good, and teach him some skills so that they can, they can be independent, right? So this is actually how parents should raise a child, reciprocate, okay? So, but I mean, all your children are grown up now, so it's only the last part that is important. Hand over the inheritance. So self-done direction, students to teachers. He says pupils to teachers. He said rise to greet them. So this is actually a very, very really Eastern tradition. I think in India, but in Chinese, it's actually very, very important that we stand to greet our elders. Not just the same in India, not just parents, but anybody who is older than us, senior than us. And when we were little, we eat together, right? And at mealtime, I'm the youngest, so we have to address everybody before we start to eat. So once food is ready, it's like, Mom, dinner time. Mom, Dad, dinner time. Oh, big brother, second sister, third sister, fourth sister, fifth brother. Yes, we are all eating. That means like it's like saying grace, but it's saying grace to our family. So I'm the youngest. I'm the last one. And everybody started eating. I'm still calling their name one by one. But Mom was very fair. Mom always was very fair. She always make sure each of us will get the same amount of food. Sometimes my brother would go and pick like we say. We said he flew across the river to pick whatever he wanted, and my mom would get the chopstick hit him in the knuckles, and then that's the manners, right? That's table manners. That's how Chinese teach children tables manners, because we learn how to hold chopsticks. If we don't hold it properly as a Chinese, it's not good, because that's our way of eating. So if we hold Chinese like this, Mom will hit with chopsticks, and the chopsticks broke. Oh yeah. So manners. So we don't sit down unless the elders have sat down, and that's also in the Buddhist tradition. Is the elders, if the seniors are standing, you don't sit, and if they are sitting, and you don't stand.
We used to have that, I think, years ago. If you were on any sort of transportation or even in a room, if the elders came in, the children were supposed to get up and give them their seat.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore.
But does that happen in the First Nation, though? Or
First Nations people are very respectful to their
elders, yeah.
I think a lot of it is where and how you're raised too. Like I was raised in a small town in Alberta, and like to this day I still get up, and if you're even just a couple years older than me, I offer you my chair, right? Because that's, like you said, we got the whack. That was because you showed respect to your elders. I don't like the term beaten into us, but it was beaten into us.
It wasn't beaten, but it was taught.
No, but it was knocked into us by that.
Yeah, it was taught, yeah.
It's interesting, my family is Dutch, and the tradition there, which would be very disrespectful not to do it, is you had to kiss everybody at least twice on the cheek. When you're coming, when you're going.
Yeah, that's Dutch, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I was born in Amsterdam. I don't know that at all.
Oh, I grew up with it.
Yeah, my brother lives in Belgium. They do that in Belgium too. Yeah, France. Yeah, you do it in France? Yeah, in Europe, yeah.
Maybe my parents just...
Your parents are not really Dutch.
Well, they were both, they're both
Sorry about this.
I think they dropped a lot of traditions when they.
Yeah, I think it's changed in the last 20 years.
And also the second is to,
Months will change it too.
Yeah, corona.
The virus,
huh?
the virus will change that.
The virus will change that?
Yeah, people won't do it anymore.
Oh,
They
okay.
are afraid of communicating.
Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And then we wait on them by being attentive. Come on. And by serving them, and by mastering the skills that the teachers teach. So, any comments on these?
I think the bottom one is so relevant to us.
There. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually students to teachers. That's actually very, very important. And the first two is actually, first four is actually respect, isn't it? Respecting. And as I always say, as our past teachers said, if you have no respect for your teachers, the teachings will not. You will not get the teachings. Okay, so it's actually so simple. And self-direction is teachers to students. So when the teachers, how should teachers actually look after students is give thorough instructions and no hiding, okay? And make sure that they have grasped what has been taught and give them a thorough grounding in all skills. And of course, even though the teacher would make sure that they have grasped, or make sure that they try their best to make sure that students would grasp what has been taught, but sometimes it's still difficult because this is really difficult. I'm sure as teachers, you know, in a group of students, some have ability to learn faster, some have ability in different aspects, so it's very difficult. So it needs to be, the teacher needs to be very, very, very sensitive to what the students' state is like. So give them a thorough grounding in all skills, and recommend them to friends and colleagues. How do you understand this? Like reference letter, right? Yeah. Exactly. And a lot sometimes people think, oh, how can I recommend you? You don't have any strength. I'm sure everyone has some strength. So when we recommend, even I feel that even when the weakest student or the not the wisest student come to ask for reference letter, you can still write a good reference letter, because you can always find some strength in somebody, and don't always talk about the weakness, but talk about the strength, right? So that is meant by recommend them to friends and colleagues, and then provide them with security in all directions. What does it mean by security in all directions? Sorry about this hiccup tonight. I forgot my adapter. You see? Did we talk about this already? Give thorough, yep. Provide them with security in all directions. How do you understand this?
Well, if the directions are like mother and father and wife and children, or whatever, so provide them with security in all those aspects.
Okay. I think in here is actually directions in the students who are searching for their own directions in the future. That's how I feel. The directions in life, or maybe the directions in their career.
I feel like the one thing that stands out the most to me is the attentiveness.
Attentiveness.
Because I feel like if the other skills are not so required, which they are, it will come when you be attentive
Of
to
course.
what people are saying, and
Yeah.
it goes back to the mindfulness and to the teachings as
Yes.
well. But
Yes.
there's just that gap in between sometimes, because like when the focus or the attentiveness isn't there, then how are you going to show the respect that you deserve?
Exactly.
And then the Dharma and the
Yeah.
Bodhisattvas deserve as well.
Yeah. That attentiveness is really just pure mindfulness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all comes back to that. I mean, even though so many people are not practicing mindfulness, but everyone needs mindfulness actually, because everyone needs attention, attentiveness, and attention and attentiveness. Every one of us do need that. Yeah. Okay. So the southern direction. So the western direction is husband and wife. Okay, so the Buddha taught you how to be a wife and how to be a husband. Okay, so listen carefully. So from a husband to a wife, honoring her. So don't go out to your friends and say, oh, my wife, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Honoring your wife when you are out there with friends or when you are home with families. Not disparaging her, okay? And not being unfaithful to her. This is actually the most important. That's why so many broken marriages, because of this unfaithfulness, and giving her authority. What does it mean by giving her authority?
Let her speak her mind occasionally?
Yeah. It's very obvious, Terry, that you you don't have a. I'm glad. That's a very smart choice. Very smart choice for yourself. Okay, and provide her with adornments. That means beautify her, diamonds, necklaces, or whatever. It's not. It doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to be. It's a gift, isn't it? You treasure her. You cherish her. So you want to buy her things that she likes, and she likes to decorate herself with. That's all. Okay, so husband and wife to husband. Listen carefully, wife. Properly organize her work. So, wow, that's a big job, isn't it? It's too big. Okay, so if you have a bigger house, if you have big business, that's even more big. Is even bigger. Okay. And then being kind to the servants. Of course, in the old days, in India or in China, there are a lot of servants. So the wife have to be kind to the servants. Why is that? Laurie? Yeah, of course, yeah.
Respect and dignity.
Yeah, to everybody. Yeah, that's good. And not being unfaithful, the same, And protecting stores. This store, it means what? Food and everything, like the family possess, okay? And being skillful and diligent. I like this, being diligent. But skillful though, skillful and diligent, okay? But, I think it's mutual, right? Especially nowadays, with women, being so independent, it's actually more like mutual thing. Mutual. We share, rather than you do this or this is your job. No, we share, right? Okay. So northern direction, the man to friends and companions, by gifts. But when you buy gifts, be careful that you buy right gifts. What kind of gifts would you buy to your friends? Oops.
Something they would enjoy, not what you would enjoy.
Okay. What about if they enjoy booze? Do you buy booze?
Oh, right, okay, no.
Okay, good. That's very good. So you have to be picky too.
Also, wholesome and beneficiary things that will provide guidance.
You're so good. It's so nice to have some young ones here, isn't it? We are so boring. Yeah, beneficial. Very nice. Beneficial, wholesome. That's really tremendous words. Wholesome and beneficial. And come on, behave. Kind words. Kind words, we all understand that. And by looking after their welfare. What does it mean by looking after their welfare?
Their well-being.
Their well-being, yeah. Like Laurie is looking after one of her dear friends who just moved to an old folks home, right? And and she doesn't have anybody else except the neighbors. Yeah, so that is looking after their welfare, but not abusing or taking benefits, right? Because they are. I mean, if they are sick and they are incapable, it's a lot of times we can easily take advantages of our friends, and then at that time, then they are not our friends anymore. We are not friends to them anymore. We're just the abuser, right? So, by looking after their welfare, by treating them like himself, that means you treat your friends and companions like you treat yourself. Okay. And by keeping his word. What does it mean by this? By keeping his words. Yeah, don't break your promises to your friends and companions. Okay, so that's the man to friends. And so what about the friends and companions to a man? Looking after him when he is inattentive. So when he crossed the road without looking, you better grab him, okay? Or when he's driving and drinking, and you better stop him driving. You better get into the driver's seat. And looking after his property when he's inattentive, so he doesn't lock the door, he leaves all the gates open, he leaves all the everything open. So help him or help her by being a refuge when he's afraid. Do you have friends like that? Do? You do have friends like that? Good. By not deserting him when he is in trouble. Isn't that very commonly happened? When your friend is in trouble, you say, oh no, I don't want to be in trouble. I better get out, leave him out, being away from him.
I have a question on that. So when you have a friend that we'll say is addicted to drugs, I've had this, and you've gone in some cases for years doing your best to help them, and they haven't helped themselves. At a certain point,
you need to stop.
You need to.
Yes, you need to stop. Yeah, you can't go. You have to be wise.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you have to be wise. And my sifu said, when you do this, you only do it 3 times.
Oh, that's good to keep in.
Yeah, the 4th time is your own attachment, your own ego. You wanted to fix him or fix her. So that is your mistake. So you have to let go. Because why? You have to respect their karma.
They have to work it out. Yeah.
They have to work it out themselves. It's their karma. You cannot help him to change their karma. No. Okay? And by showing concern for his children. Of course, if the friends and companions have problems and difficulty to look after their children, you can help. you can help to, take care, once in a while, offer help. Yeah? These are all very, very straightforward. So, in the Nadia direction, the master to the servants or workers, so arrange the work according to their strength, but yet it doesn't seem to happen like that anymore, right? And supply them with food and wages. So food, wages, yeah, minimum or whatever, or even sometimes they what? They actually rip off, giving them lower wages. Yeah.
Under the table,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember my family, my mom used to cook for all the workers.
Yeah.
We would have a big wok and
Yeah.
we would have to cook them, she would make them
Meals.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lunch would be the main meal for them.
Yeah,
So they would come and work and then they would be fed also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
But it doesn't really happen anymore.
No. That's why in here with Po Lam, the workers saw us bringing cookies and they said, no food, no cookies. They find it so strange. But they love it. They know they like it. They think that we are so nice. And I remember when I built this garage 20 years ago, in 1998. So two friends, Oscar and Manfred, they come in to eat lunch with us. And Oscar, he said, "What are you cooking?" I said, "We are vegetarian." It's okay, 1 meal a day. 1 vegetarian meal a day is okay for him. And he started to love the meal, and he loved the shiitake mushroom. So sometimes, he's old. After he finished work, sometimes we will cook the mushroom and deliver 1 box of shiitake mushroom to him. He just loved them. And he said, "I have never worked in a place that gives us lunch." I said, "Yeah, well, this is a very different place." Okay? Come on. Behave, please. All right. Looking after them when they are ill. And spare special delicacies for them. Share. It should be share, yeah. Not spare. Share. Let them off work at the right time. Oh, it doesn't happen nowadays, doesn't it?
I was just thinking for 30 years I had an employer who did all of those things.
You did? Well, you are lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you need time off when you're sick, you get paid time off.
Wow.
And, they take you for lunch.
Right?
You don't work overtime without double pay. So there are some good
There are
employers
some,
out there
yeah.
that follow.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. So what about the workers to the master? Get up before the master. Well, of course, these are talking about servants inside the house. Yeah. I mean, even if you work in a company, a lot of times you start work before your boss come, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. If your boss start work before you, you're in trouble, right? And go to bed after he's gone to bed. And take only what they are given. Do their work properly. And be bearers of his praise and good repute. So the master can go out and tell people, "Oh, I have wonderful workers, and these workers do such and such good thing, and that worker is so diligent," and so be bearers of his praise. So that it means like that.
Which direction is nadir?
Down, yeah. Well, it goes with the tradition, you see, because in India the lowest caste is workers and servants. Lower caste. Lowest.
I remember is when the sun is highest in the sky, that's the zenith.
Yes, zenith.
And the nadir is opposite.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's the lowest. The workers, the blue collars. And the Sinith is the man to ascetics and Brahmins. And kindness in bodily deed, is kindness in verbal deed, kindness in mental deed. So we have to be kind to, in all this, to the Brahmins and keep an open house for them. That means offering, right? Alms. And supply bodily needs for them. Like if they need clothes, or if they don't use toothpaste in the old days, but they need cloth, a lot of cloth, and food, right? That means the bodily needs the cloth they put on themselves. And there was no soap in the old days, so there's no need of toilet paper, because they use towel to clean. They use water. So in the Sinith, so sorry about this, but restrain him from evil. So with the ascetics and the Brahmins, what should they actually reciprocally do for man? Restrain him from evil. That means stop him from doing evil and encourage him to do good. So this is like the teachers, isn't it? Benevolently compassionate towards him and teach him what he has not heard. Point out to him the way to heaven. So this is actually like teachers to pupils, right? So he said, this is the biggest protection. Why is this the biggest protection? Why do you think this is the biggest protection? The Sinith is covered from eastern, southern, western, northern, and the Nadir and the Sinith is covered, making it at peace and free from fear.
It covers all our interactions with others in a beneficial and good light.
Yeah, and if we do behave in that way, it's all covered, isn't it? And then if we are behaving like that, we actually, who is protecting ourselves? Who is protecting us? We are protecting ourselves, yeah. So then do we need to be so afraid? No, we don't have to be fearful anymore, right? We are naturally protected because we are doing these 6 things. Rather than just superstitiously go and prostrate to the east, to the west, to the north, and to the south, and to the Nadir, and to the Sinith, that is not going to do any good things. But because you are doing all these, as the Buddha taught, these are behaviors, right? And these behaviors are the protection shields for us. So you don't have to be scared. And the Buddha said, blind faith will not bring happiness to your life. Only when you do these 6 things, you will bring protection and free of fear and peace. Okay, so we do a little reflections tonight. So in this chapter, what do you think is the difference between the advice of the Singalaka's father and that of the Buddha?
I think one is ritual and one is practice.
One is ritual, one is practice. The father's is ritual, yeah. So you just do this. It's like a blind faith, you do this. But the Buddha said, what the Buddha taught is, no, you have to do it like this, like this, like this, like this, and practice it in your life, right? And so there's a big difference between a rite and ritual than a practice, isn't it? So if you just do, every morning you get up and just go and bow, do prostrations, but during the day you don't change your behavior, it's not going to do you any good, right? Got it? Good. And what about, in all these directions, which direction or directions you think that you have done well? No?
I think we need to work in all directions.
Huh?
We need to work in all directions.
You need to work on all more directions. In all directions. But which direction you have done well? Anyone at all?
I think with my kids.
Huh?
I think with my kids as a parent.
As a parent to your kids? That's good. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Anybody?
As a wife, I think.
As a wife, good. Yeah, wonderful.
All the stories.
Anybody else?
I don't know if I've done well, but I put a lot of time into the parent.
In the parents, yeah. You have done well. You have tried.
I've tried.
You have tried. That's the most important. No? Anybody?
I think I treat my friends pretty good.
Good. That's good. That's good, yeah. Your friends and your companions, right? You don't cheat them. No, that's great, yeah.
I think as a teacher,
As a teacher, you have done your try your best to your students. Yeah, good. You see, you have to reflect on this because that is your strength, right? That is your strength. It doesn't matter whether the strength is little. Doesn't matter. It will grow. Okay. I think I am okay. I think I have tried my best to serve my parents, and I have tried my best to serve my students, and to serve my friends. Oh well, some friends I think I could have done better, but what can I do? You know, they're not here anymore. But sometimes I feel regretted that I haven't done enough for some of my friends who have passed on. But what can I?
It's a learning curve too.
Exactly, yeah. So which direction that you feel is insufficient and we could do better? All directions.
I was gonna say I don't have children and I'm not married, so I think I flunked those two.
You flunked those? Well, you're blessed.
Because I don't have children and I'm not married?
You're blessed. It is a blessing.
I think so, actually, yeah.
It
You
is.
have to work on those areas.
Yeah.
I figure I did them in the past life.
You know. Sometimes I see householders having children, and they have headache with the children. I say, for me, I say, what a blessings I had, you know, without children. Of course, but I mean, it's just me. I don't mean that I asked you to stop being a parent. No, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of self-cultivation, self-improvement in order to actually bring up a child, a good child. I mean, a good child, what I mean is a responsible kid, you know, good to themselves and good to the community, good to the world. You know, that's very difficult, especially nowadays world. It's very challenging, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So.
Actually, I do think it is part of your karma. I never wanted children. I don't think that was my path.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your karma, is your blessing, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Just have dogs.
But just have dogs? Okay. Too many.
No, need more.
Need more. Okay.
Well, in some ways they're a lot like children. They just never grow up.
Yeah. Okay, but don't pamper your pets, though. Don't pamper your dogs. Don't treat them like pets. They are not pets.
They're souls.
They are dogs, and you have to respect their karma, and don't multiply. Don't strengthen their karma as a dog. Otherwise, next life they will be even worse than a dog. It's true.
What do you mean by that? I'm not.
What do I mean by that is because they come to you, and if you really treat them like a pet and you pamper them, and their habits, the old habits, will get strengthened so badly. And so when after this life they are gone, then those karma will just mature. And if they are born as a dog this lifetime, who knows what they will be reborn into.
So how were you saying to treat pets?
There is no such thing as pet. There's such thing as dogs or cats. So you treat them as a friend.
Okay.
Treat them as a friend. You use this to treat them. So you look at Goldie. We have a Goldie now, right? Goldie, before she eats, she has to sit down and listen to the 3 refuges and Heart Sutra.
Okay.
Cool, yeah. And she's vegetarian. And yesterday, Eva bought me a bag of chips. So yesterday I was driving myself from Vancouver back home. So I opened a pack of chips and I had one piece of, ooh, there's garlic in here. So I put it away. Then I came home. I said, you want chips? So I gave Goldie a chip and she put it in her mouth. She spit it out. And my sister Catherine said, no, how can you know that there's garlic in it? You eat chips, you like chips, but this is too big. So Catherine broke it into 2 and gave her half. She put it in her mouth and she spit it out. And she walked away from the chips, which she loved chips.
It's not garlic.
But yeah, without garlic. Yeah. It's so strange. I said, look at her, are you sure that you don't want it? She looked at me and she walked away. She said, don't you ever feed that chips to me again. She doesn't eat it. She did not eat it.
You know, it's interesting that with children too, when we raise children, we don't want to overindulge them. We don't want to have no rules.
Yeah, but with
We
pets,
don't want to spoil them.
yeah, but you do that all to the dogs. You spoil them, you overprotect them, you give them clothes, you give them shoes, you give them hats.
Not me.
Oh, good. Okay, so and remember, since you are studying the Buddha's teachings, remember anything, even a dog, a pet, or a human being come into your life, that means they come into your life with a purpose. With a purpose, as your dog, as a cat, what can you give them back? You should give them back the Dharma seeds. The Dharma seeds. The seeds of the Dharma that they can actually benefit in the next life. Not any pampering and indulgence that actually strengthen their old habits so much stronger. Okay?
I'm trying to apply this to my bird.
Oh yeah.
But
You need to. They know.
well, I do.
You do it long enough, they do catch it.
I've always treated our animals as just one of the household.
Yeah, but don't pamper them, all right? Okay? Okay. Dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we, with all the other living beings, together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the words of the Buddha, study them, practice them, and help themselves to be liberated from all sufferings, and also help themselves to benefit others. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Great.